She called me a shark. Yes, she said, Mr. Oginski, you're a shark. I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or was it really derogatory. You want to know what this is all about? Come join me for a moment as I share with you exactly what it meant and when it happened. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. I was in the middle of a trial. It was a boating accident case. My client suffered significant injury to her ankle. She suffered a fractured ankle while on a friend's boat. She was boating during the middle of the summer. Her friends had invited her out onto a boat. It was a pleasure boat. It wasn't a speedboat. It was a nice-sized boat that could accommodate 6 people. She's out on this boat on Long Island on a beautiful summer day. There's not a cloud in the sky. They're boating along at speed. And now, during the middle of their day, all of a sudden there's another boat that's coming straight on towards it. Now what happens then? You should know that when you're in a boat, if you have another boat approaching you, one of the things that you need to be aware of as the driver and operator of the boat is that there's a trailing wave behind any boat. It's typically in the form of a V. They call it a wake. Now, the wake can depend upon the speed of the boat as well as the size of the boat. So the faster you're going, the bigger the boat, the greater the trailing waves are. Now, what happened here was that as the 2 boats are passing each other, they're both going at speed. Neither one of them changes course. They're both going straight, not head on, but it's as if they're on a 2-lane roadway, but now they're going fast. And the moment that this boat that she was on passed the other one, all of a sudden the waves from the boat that just passed now started to rock the boat back and forth. And if you're not careful, what will happen is that those waves, depending upon the size of the waves, depending upon the speed, will rock the boat violently. Unfortunately for her, she was standing talking to a friend near the stairwell, right behind where the boat operator was sitting. And guess what? Because of the violent rocking, she fell right down the stairs, fractured her ankle. Now, why was this such a big deal, and why did somebody call me a shark years later at the time of trial? I'll tell you why. My client was that person, was that boat passenger who had been invited onto the boat for the day by her friends. And now, the driver, the operator of the boat, never told her there was an oncoming boat. He never changed course direction. He never signaled to anybody on the boat to hold on, to be careful that there's another boat approaching and that they're going to hit some turbulent waves. Nothing. Just kept driving. My client didn't even see the boat because she wasn't even paying attention. She had her back to the other boat. As a result of her falling down the stairs, she needed emergency medical care and treatment. She needed surgery to fix the fractures. And now, the people whose boat she was on told her, listen, we'll help you out. We'll pay for those medical expenses. Guess what? They didn't. She said, listen, I have so many out-of-pocket expenses. They said, we'll take care of it. Guess what? They didn't. Then they said, hey, you know what? We have boating insurance. Go ahead and submit a claim to our boating insurance. Well, guess what? The boating insurance company refused to pay. They refused to acknowledge that their friends, that the owner, the operator of the boat, did anything wrong. So she had no choice but to sue them. And since they refused to pay or negotiate, guess what? We had to go all the way to trial. We had a marine expert, a former Coast Guard captain, who said that we had a valid case, who said that the operator, the owner of the boat, what he should have done was cut the wake on an angle, a 90-degree angle, to minimize the risk of having those waves, those trailing waves, rock the boat back and forth. And had he done that, this would never have occurred. Well, guess what? The jury in Nassau County, in Mineola, didn't think that we were more likely right than wrong. But during the course of trial, I had the boat owner up on the witness stand. I had the marine expert up on the witness stand. And I had the boat owner's wife up on the witness stand. And as she's walking off the witness stand and passes by my table, she leans over to me and says, Mr. Oginski, you're a shark. And at first I was offended. No one had ever called me a shark. Not in a medical malpractice case, not in a car accident case, not even in a wrongful death case. I've heard attorneys called lots of bad things. Ambulance chaser, shyster, cheat, liar. But never have I heard anybody call another lawyer a shark. And as I thought about it, I realized, you know what? That's actually not a bad thing to be called. You know why? Because it meant I was doing something right. It meant that I was representing my clients to the best of my ability. It meant that this woman was upset and angry. You know why she was angry? Because we had to drag her into court to testify. She was angry because she had to take time out of her schedule to come in and testify. She wasn't angry about the fact that my client's bills weren't paid. She wasn't angry because my client had to go after her own insurance. She wasn't angry because she brought a lawsuit. She was angry because this was disrupting her life and the fact that my client sued them. And then they turn around and say, hey, we did nothing wrong. Well, unfortunately, a jury in Nassau County saw it their way, and my client walked away without any type of compensation as a result of what occurred to her. So, let's recap. My client is out on this pleasure boat. She's asked to come on board based upon her friends saying, hey, listen, come join us for a day out on the water. That's what she did. Through no fault of her own, she fell down these steps, suffered significant injury, needing medical treatment, and now she's out of work for a period of time, and she lost time with her family, all because of this boat owner's carelessness. That was our claim. The jury didn't see it that way. They said, no, you know what, this stuff can happen. So what that he didn't tell her? And as a result, hey, he's not at fault. Well, if he's not at fault and she's not at fault, who's responsible for her injury? In this case, the jury decided that we were not more likely right than wrong. And as a result, they turned our case away. So why do I share this quick story with you? I share it with you just to give you an instance where one person turns around in the middle of trial and says, Mr. Oginski, you're a shark. You know, I realize you're watching this video because you have questions or comments about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.